think if Canelo was using the jab effectively, hard, the guy wouldn't have been able to come in because the guy was coming in because he wasn't worried about Canelo's jab. So he got more aggressive and he got brave. If you're not jabbing, he has no defense.
I really don't care how big Crawford is. If I'm Canelo, I feel disrespected. Coming up 2 weight classes, you haven't fought at 68. We don't know how your body's going to react.
He's got the heart, he's got the speed, the skills, and he's going to go out there. I was thinking he put up a good first 6 rounds, but then Canelo will start picking it up. But now I think Crawford will get.
Mike Tyson expresses serious concern about Canelo's future, warning that a loss to Terence Crawford could be harmful. He points out that in previous fights, Canelo often neglected his jab, allowing opponents to gain confidence and close the gap. Tyson advises that this time Canelo must sharpen his jab, using it with precision and discipline to control the bout and prevent Crawford from gaining momentum.
He's not going to jab, the guy's going to walk right in on him, like he did. Next fight, use your jab, different fight. Well, he was really basic,
Veteran analyst Teddy Atlas points out that Canelo Alvarez has faced a long list of elite opponents across multiple weight classes, giving him one of the most complete resumes in boxing. In contrast, Terence Crawford has not encountered as many big names as expected for a fighter of his stature. However, Atlas argues that true greatness is defined not by the size of a resume but by skill and adaptability inside the ring. He believes Crawford's timing, angles, and composed adjustments will allow him to overcome Canelo's natural advantages.
Maybe he's a little overrated.
Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good, really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire. It's in his mind. It's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class. Can he carry it? But those intangibles, I believe that he has them.
The stakes for Canelo Alvarez in this fight go far beyond a simple win or loss. Terence Crawford is moving up to weight classes, presenting a unique challenge, but also added pressure on Canelo. If he loses to a naturally smaller man despite having the advantages of size, strength, and experience, critics will question his legacy. Such a defeat could tarnish his reputation as one of boxing's top pound-for-pound fighters, which is why this matchup carries massive risk even before the first bell rings.
I really don't care how big Crawford is. If I'm Canelo, I feel disrespected. Coming up 2 weight classes, you haven't fought at 68. We don't know how your body's going to react, and you just think, you just going to come up and beat me. We seen it with Charlo, his videos, how he was looking, moving around the ring, and everybody thought, that might work, and we saw what happened come fight night. Crawford is a skillful guy, but who has he really beaten? Spence. After Spence, now all of a sudden he can jump up 2 weight classes and beat Canelo. I don't see it. If I'm Canelo, I would have to make a statement with Crawford. Canelo cannot lose this fight. He shouldn't lose this fight.
David Benavidez speaks with confidence when discussing Terence Crawford's position among boxing's elite. He views Crawford as operating on a higher level of skill and mental sharpness than most fighters today. Benavidez praises Crawford's ability to switch stances effortlessly, remain composed under pressure, and control the pace regardless of his opponent's style. He believes Crawford's real advantage lies in his fight IQ, equipping him with the tools to dismantle even the toughest champions over time.
Terence Crawford, does he have an opportunity to beat Canelo?
I think if anybody has a chance to beat Canelo, I think it's Terence Crawford. His IQ is on another level. He's a great fighter and he's strong. It's just that it's a lot of weight. I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford wins. Wouldn't be surprised if he loses either. Terence Crawford, when he went up against the best opposition, like Earl Spence, he showed what level he's on, what type of dog he is. I don't know. You really have to let these fights play out to see what happens. He might get hurt. That might activate him to come back strong.
Could you still make 68?
I don't want to make 68.
No, I know you don't. Terence wins 68.
Yeah, well, if that's, yeah, I can make 168.
Jeff Mayweather emphasizes the sharp technical skills that have defined Terence Crawford's career, pointing out his ability to read opponents and adjust strategies with precision. He gives Crawford the advantage in craft but cautions against underestimating Canelo Alvarez's power and experience. Canelo has repeatedly changed the course of fights with a single punch and excelled under pressure against elite competition. Jeff warns that overlooking Canelo's capacity to adapt would be a dangerous mistake for Crawford or any fighter who steps in against him.
It's kind of tough, but if anybody can do it, I think it would be Terence Crawford. I mean, skill-wise, I think he's a better fighter than Canelo, but Canelo is also a great fighter but he owns that weight class that he's in. So I would just say that I think that Crawford has to fight almost a perfect fight to win.
Max Kellerman's analysis emphasizes the jab as a key factor in this fight. He points out that Crawford's jab ranks among the sharpest in boxing today, enabling him to control distance, set up combinations, and break his opponent's rhythm. This tool has been central to much of Crawford's success. Kellerman contrasts this with Canelo Alvarez, whose jab once kept pressure fighters at bay. Lately, however, Canelo's jab has become less consistent and frequent, which could leave him vulnerable to Crawford's disciplined use of the lead hand.
I'll give you a list of attributes, and then tell me who do you feel is best in that attribute. First attribute, best jab.
Crawford.
Best defense.
Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring.
Gary Antoine Russell highlights the cultural and stylistic contrast in this matchup. He explains that Canelo Alvarez embodies the classic Mexican style, blending steady pressure with body attacks and sharp counters. In contrast, Russell notes that Terence Crawford brings the rhythm, fluidity, and defensive craft typical of African-American boxing styles. This clash of approaches adds intrigue, as both fighters will aim to impose their rhythm while neutralizing the other's strengths.
Canelo, he has mastered his style. Now, typically, Latinos, they got their own style versus melanated black people. Having like more rhythm, more flashiness and panache to their stuff, more swag.
Yeah.
We just fight different than other ethnicities. If you want to throw Amir Khan in there, his ethnicity, he was in and out.
Yeah, that's the European kind of style.
Textbook, you know, but that was his style. Canelo got his style and he mastered it. Terence Crawford cannot take nothing away from him. He's like freakishly good, you know. He go both sides, southpaw, orthodox, you know. And I feel like he adapt well. But it don't take much to get hit, especially these little 8-ounce gloves. He cannot slip up. He cannot slip up. He gonna have to stay set from bing to bing from round 1 to 12, and he better be in shape. I'm talking about like not 12-round shape. I'm talking about like 16-round shape.
Trainer Robert Garcia makes it clear that he is backing Terence Crawford in this major showdown. Garcia admires Crawford's work ethic, focus, and commitment to mastering the fundamentals of boxing. He says Crawford's success at the sport's highest level reflects the importance of technical skill and ring intelligence, while he respects Canelo Alvarez and his accomplishments. Garcia personally hopes to see Crawford emerge as the winner.
You know, I love Crawford. He knows that. I've seen him. I've talked to him many times, and I wish him the best. I'm actually very happy for him and Bomac for everything they've done and the big fight that they're getting. You know, in this sport, making it to those fights and making it to those paydays, you got to be happy for anybody that makes it there. So Bomac knows, Crawford knows. Now I'm actually, after Canelo's performance, I'm actually leaning towards Crawford to win this fight.
Why is that? What changed?
Because I know Crawford's he's got the heart, he's got the speed, the skills, and he's gonna go out there. I was thinking he put up a good first 6 rounds, but then Canelo will start picking it up. But now I think Crawford will go for the. I think Crawford will get. I'm picking Crawford to win now.
Omari Jones says Crawford's preparation for this fight reflects true professionalism. Rather than adding weight to quickly and sacrificing speed, Crawford built mass through careful nutrition and conditioning. This strategy allows him to maintain his signature agility while gaining the durability needed to face a bigger opponent. Like Canelo, Jones believes this smart approach gives Crawford the best chance to succeed, while minimizing the drawbacks of moving up in weight.
And like me personally, meeting Crawford several times, it's like the man is just so competitive. It's like I don't even have to say nothing to him. He'll just like, man, when we sparring, it's like his competitiveness is always gonna put him over the edge, and then he just has that like, I'm not gonna let you bully me, or his skill set. And it, I know they talk about Charlo when Charlo moved up, but I feel like it may be a little bit different for Canelo this time around because Crawford took the moving up in weight classes serious. He did the dieting, he did the training. So I feel like when you put in work like that, it's a win-win. So
So you don't think Crawford, gaining that weight, because I saw him, he's pretty big. You don't
yes.
think that's going to be a disadvantage for him in this fight?
No, it looked like he put it on the right way. Um, the nutrition, the like I said, the training. Crawford, he trains hard. So I feel like I know they say he probably went up to like 185, so he has to lose that weight. But I think if he did it the right way, which I know he did, he'll be successful in September.
And I know you, like we discussed earlier, we talked with your pro debut, and now you're 3-0. Your last fight, July 19th against Blanco, and it was actually your third win by knockout.
Yes.
Super proud of you. How are you feeling about your pro career so far?
I'm feeling great about my pro career. I definitely feel like it's off to a great start.
Paulie Malignaggi praises Crawford's balanced approach to physical preparation. He notes that Crawford gained enough strength to withstand Canelo's power without sacrificing the speed required for counters and movement. Malignaggi credits this to Crawford's disciplined training camp and meticulous attention to diet and sparring. He suggests that this level of preparation could be the key to whether Crawford successfully imposes his style against Canelo.
Wait, what's your thought about that?
Yeah, I mean, well, Roy Jones is Roy Jones, but also Terence Crawford is Terence Crawford. But John Ruiz is not Canelo Alvarez. So that's another aspect of that comparison. And yes, exactly what the champ said, exactly what Abel Sanchez said, you're going to put on weight, you're going to be a different fighter. And I can say this, even as a fighter as myself, as I've gotten heavier in my retirement, I try and move around the gym, it just feels different. And even when you start camp, you feel different in the beginning than you do at the end. But listen, we're still 4 or 5 weeks away. I don't know exactly what Terence is weighing right now. And even if he does say what he weighs, man, he's gone out there and said he's weighed, all types of crazy numbers just to get media to respond. So it's really not really going to know until the fight and we see these guys next to each other. He might look bigger right now, but he might not be that heavy. He might still be in the range that these guys are targeting for the fight itself.
Stephen Bredman Edwards emphasizes Crawford's mastery of movement. As the foundation of his success, he explains that Crawford controls distance to frustrate opponents, forcing misses and responding with sharp counters. Paired with elite conditioning, this allows him to sustain his pace over 12 rounds. Edwards believes this skill will be crucial in neutralizing Canelo's pressure and preventing him from trapping Crawford. He adds that Crawford's mental toughness guarantees he remains composed under fire.
He slips, he's really good. But Crawford is just so clutch. His conditioning is so good. They're going to be about similar heights. Crawford's a little taller. He's longer. And I think that Crawford's adjustments in fights are so underrated. He is a master adjuster. He finds something in every fight and just goes with it. That last fight, people talk about he struggled. You know what he found that last fight? A simple jab. He just started beating the guy up with a jab. He finds something in every fight. And he don't fight a lazy fight. Canelo, for as good as he is, he hasn't stopped anybody since 2021. That's 4 years. You know why? Because he gets a little tired and he gets like a little bit complacent. He's a power puncher. Anybody that punched that hard don't want to go 4 years without a stoppage. He haven't got a stoppage because he don't have the conditioning and the stamina to push a guy over the edge after he hurt him or after, when the guy's running away from him to still be able to go get him. He don't want to go the distance in all these fights. You think he wants to go the distance with Jamel Charlo and John Ryder and Edgar Berlanga and Triple G at 68? He don't want to, but he don't have that extra gear anymore, in my opinion, to get guys out of there.
Canelo Alvarez's recent performance against William Skull sparked doubts among analysts and fans. His activity appeared lower than usual, and his movement lacked the urgency seen in his prime. Rather than dictating the action, Canelo often reacted, allowing Skull to fight with more freedom. This hesitation raised concerns about whether Canelo still has the stamina and sharpness to control elite opponents over 12 rounds. Critics caution that these vulnerabilities could be exploited by a versatile fighter like Crawford.
And after really the Triple G fight is when we've seen the slippage on Canelo. And over the last 2 years, it's been immediately apparent. It's been apparent straight away over the last 2 years. Canelo's feet have always been slow. He's always been very slow-footed. So when people are saying, oh, it looks like his legs are slowing down, yeah, they are. They've never been quick, but now they're even slower, which is a problem. And Jim Lampley on commentary on Friday night show was saying that one of Canelo's biggest strengths is his legs. It generates power and it helps with his punch resistance. Well, those legs are sliding and that power is diminishing. Canelo hasn't had a stoppage win now since he knocked out Caleb Plant in 2021. And yeah, he's dropped some of these guys, but he's not been able to step on the gas and finish them. He's not been able to go through the gears. His gas tank, you can put that into question as well. And Canelo Alvarez, come July, be 35 years old. So he is, look, Canelo's been around so long and his real prime was in his mid-20s. So we associate Canelo, mid-20s to early 30s. So we kind of associate Canelo with that. I don't want to say ever young, but he is still young, just not in boxing senses. But he's been around so long, 20 years a pro, and he's been at world levels for probably 15 of those. You're going to expect some slippage. And I think in this fight, an opponent, it was very negative, yes, but an opponent who Canelo Alvarez of 5 years ago would have handled, and he did handle him, but you know what I mean, he probably would have put some damage on William Skull. He didn't do anything.
Sean Porter and other analysts believe Crawford's best route to victory is through distance control and sharp angles. By staying mobile and forcing Canelo to continually reset, Crawford can disrupt his rhythm and wear him down both physically and mentally. Porter emphasizes that discipline will be just as important as talent. The fighter who stays calm, focused, and consistent with strategy from start to finish is the one most likely to prevail.
And that, so I haven't seen that Terence Crawford against Canelo in these two press conferences. They're having dinner. They have the presser in Riyadh. They have the presser in New York. That's a weak-ass push by Canelo. And, that is not Canelo. What he did with Caleb Plant, that was real. He slipped him and then slapped him. And that was like, okay. This felt like, hey, social media saying you guys are being too friendly. We're paying you all this money. We're putting the knockout bonus there. Come on, we got a fight to sell. Let's heat this up a little bit. Obviously, they're both great fighters, and they're both coming to win. But I don't want to get too deep into it today. But my thoughts on this, the big picture, like what's looming, the fight to me, because I'm the journalist.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned, and until next time, keep watching for more updates.